All right, guys, welcome to Saturday, October 18th. We are live currently. Nothing crazy going on. Just wanted to give you a quick update for this weekend's weather. Got a lot of information to cover relatively quickly here. I don't want to be on too long, and we'll do our best to kind of keep this short. Sorry, I got to clean my glasses off a little bit here. So you'll probably notice that we're down to standard definition. That is so I can stream properly. The webcam that I have isn't quite up to par for what I'm trying to do at 1080 or even 4K. So, welcome to today's post. I hope you guys are having a fantastic day, and welcome to Huntington County Storm Chasers. So, first and foremost, we're going to talk about the weather today. Before we get to that point, though, Fall Festival is happening today at the YMCA. It is currently going now until 2 o'clock. So go out there for your lunch today, have some fun, play some games. Everything's free minus the food truck. So get out and have a good time. I'm sure it'll be a blast. So looking at today's weather, guys, a lot to talk about. There's a lot going on. Maybe a little bit has changed. We'll get into that a little bit here shortly. So talking about today's weather, we have some weather to our west and northwest currently. Starting to build up over there. It is currently 12:20 p.m. here in beautiful Huntington, Indiana. So we're going to go over to the radar, show you a live look at what that looks like currently, and kind of go over some of the areas that are getting affected by that as we're going on. So this is your current radar and what everything's looking at. So as we're kind of going through here, you can see my mouse. There it is. All right, so you got a little cell over here just south of South Bend near Plymouth. Zoom in a little bit. This was a lot heavier as far as intensity goes not that long ago. They're near Montgomery, Winnemac, Walnut, Argos. Now we have up here by South Bend, if you're watching from that area or you're going around that area, got a little cell popping up over there. Nothing is severe in our area currently. Now, as we drag this along here, kind of zoom out a little bit, we're going to go down over here where there is some severe weather. There we go. This is what's going to be working its way northwest up to us. You can see it's inundated and a lot of lightning there and whatnot. So if we go over to velocity, see what this has a look as, there's a lot of wind in there. So this is going to be a windbag event, unfortunately, as the front comes through. Which you'll see that I put up that we have a trash can warning in effect. I'll post that on our page here shortly. Make sure your trash cans are going to be rolling into your neighbor's yard tonight. I'm expecting, as this front comes through, 40+ mile per hour wind gusts. The wind's going to start to pick up as we go throughout our day here. So this is the St. Louis area. No warnings in effect down there currently. There were some severe thunderstorm warnings over there recently, though. So there is that. So if you're wondering how far away that is, as crow flies, that's beam height. I didn't ask for that. All right. There we go. So we're still about 325 miles out from that. So what does that mean for us? Absolutely nothing right now. That's just what we're looking at coming in the future here. So we'll get back to our area here, the KIWX radar station. So we can see some things over here. Nothing going on. Some light wind and light rain, basically. Illinois starting to show some of that down around the St. Louis area. So that's definitely working its way up our way, guys. It's not moving extremely quick or anything like that, but we're going to go ahead and stop sharing that. We're going to get over to this other. There we go. So this is what the HRRR is showing for 1 kilometer above ground level reflectivity. And this is at about 7 p.m. So this is when we're going to really start to see things fluctuate and come in to our area about 7 p.m. I've been kind of playing with the models a little bit and seeing what kind of precipitation or storms that we're going to get. But the unpredictable is kind of what's coming into us right now. as we're getting some of this daytime heating. So we're going to go to another screen here, which is going to be the Storm Prediction Center. We're going to go to that. Bear with me as we get that replaced over here so I can go over that with you. Get that one out of the way. There we go. All right, so this is what this storm prediction is. It going to share it? Oh, it's because I messed up. There we go. We'll go ahead and do it like this. We'll get you up full screen so you can see it. So Storm Prediction Center, this was updated today. Oops, I hit the wrong button. This was updated today. So just kind of give you an idea what this is. This is the categorical risk factor on what you're seeing here. So I have this on another screen so I can look at it with you guys. So we're up here. We're in the marginal area, which is level 1 for risk of severe weather. So we're going to go into a little bit of different categories here. You can see this is the tornado category. We are in a 2%, which is the lowest risk factor, but the risk is there. Wind, we're definitely in the area for that. We have a 5% risk factor of severe or higher wind. And then hail, we're not in that category, but I'm not going to count us out on that. There is a chance for some hail today as we get that convective heating throughout the day. So keep that in mind as we're going to go out throughout our day. So that is the picture of the day right there. Marginal risk for us today. If I was a betting man and I had to put some money on something, I would say Little Rock, Arkansas right there would definitely be a good chase factor to run after if I was going out after that today. So that being said, winds today definitely going to be 45 mile per hour plus as that cold front comes through. Do I still have my radar on this? I think I got rid of it. Nope, there it is. All right, this might get a little glitchy, but we're going to talk about some cold fronts, and we're going to talk about the wind and where it's coming from, what it's doing. We're going to nerd out a little bit here. I don't want to keep you guys too long, but I'm going to see if this is actually going to load up or not. I had issues with it last time I tried to share it. My radar is a very good radar system to use. Of course, I'm not going to get it. All right, so we'll go back into that. Get rid of this. We're going to get rid of that. And what we'll do is we'll go into Pivotal Weather, and we're going to play with that a little bit. Let me get this shared up, and we'll go over exactly what the time frame looks like and what we have going on. So one big thing that I'm going to talk about is the cold weather that we're going to get coming up this week or next week. I can tell you that 70s are done and over for us for the foreseeable future the next couple weeks. There is a chance after that we get a slight warm up, but I don't have my hopes up. I'm going to tell you that right now. And without spoiling the bathwater here, I'm going to tell you that coming up Thursday night, if I remember correctly, is what I'm looking at as far as our first hard freeze. It's going to get cold. So get out your jackets, get out your pumpkin spice, and let's rock and roll, guys. I'm excited for it. I don't know if you are or not. I'm not watching the comments. I apologize. I just saw that there's 2 of you in there. Don says meow. We'll talk about the meow thing here in a minute. Good story for you guys. So, all right, let me get this screen shared up for you. I got it loaded. And we're going to go over what this is going to look like tonight. I know a lot of you have your plans tonight for the haunted trail and going out and having a hot dog with Don because he's going to be out there. You're going to want to have a plan to get your car as a lot. I believe we're going to be in some lighting. So let's take a look, see what it looks like. We're going to zoom into our area here as this loads up. If it decides to or not. Here it comes. All right, we're zooming into the Midwest U.S. here. We'll go over the live a weather model. So this is the most recent run. This is going to show you what we should see and when we should see it. So right now, oh, we're getting ahead of ourselves. I hate it when it does that. So right now, so if you see the 16Z right here, so this is basically what it's considering 4 o'clock. So if you think military time, 16 Zulu, 4 o'clock, subtract 4 hours off of that, and that's where we're going to be, if that makes sense. After November 2nd, that's going to change dramatically. So we'll be 5 hours off Zulu time. We're going to go full screen on that. I'm going to get rid of my ugly mug here for a second. All right, so this is as of noon currently. You can notice that it's not perfect because it's not showing anything up here around the South Bend area or anything like that, but that's due to that convective heating that we're getting in front of the cold front. And you can kind of see up here in the corner, we have the blue, the red. That blue is where that cold front is, and that's going to push through there. You can see that rain kind of over here in South Dakota. That's that system that's going to come through. As we get that moisture coming up from the southeast, that's going to come up, it's going to meet that cold front, and that's where we're going to get a lot of this precipitation. If you were listening yesterday while I was out on the hike, you're going to hear something that I said yesterday. We had the risk of getting anywhere from a half an inch to an inch and a half of rain. And I said, I think we're going to be around that inch mark between Saturday and Sunday. That has also increased. That's due to this convective heating that we're getting from the southeast, along with the brilliant sunshine that we have out there right now. Unfortunately, that's helping create the instability. It's going to help wrap us in that moisture, and it's going to give us a lot of rainfall as we get into Sunday. So by Sunday afternoon, we should start to dry out. We're going to go through this a little bit here. So that's 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock. You can see that line of storm starting to build up. We still got the cold front back here getting ready to start dropping. As we get later into the evening, this cold front's going to drop faster and faster, and it's going to sweep through. That's what's going to give us this big kick and this big push. So that's 5 o'clock. So 5 o'clock hour up along the 80-90 up here. We're starting to get those showers and thunderstorms. Still nothing severe. It's not really all pushing together to give that shear and that instability yet, but it's definitely pushing through. So we'll pick one of these cells here and I'll show you. Maybe. And if I'm talking too fast, you want me to back up over something, let me know. Kind of pull this up full screen, maybe. All right, so this is what the sounding looks like. This is some of the information we go off of. You don't want to go off any loose matches. This isn't showing any possible hazards as far as severe or anything like that. So nothing too crazy going on here. If you don't understand what that looks like, we could probably do another video on that another day and get into that a little bit deeper. But that's what the sounding looks like. That's what we use for forecasting, along with some other data that's in there. So let's go forward a little bit here. Like I said, this is our 5 o'clock. That's what we should be looking like unless we get somewhere in the range of further instability or anything like that. So 5 o'clock time frame, we're still mainly dry. We're going to be coming up to sunset here, which a lot of people would understand. That's going to kill some instability, but this is a strong cold front that's going to come through. That's why we're going to get a lot of wind and other things that are going to come through and just kind of hit us. 6 o'clock. And then we get 7 o'clock. So we start to get some of that rain down around Howard County, Tipton County, Cass County, just south of Wabash. That's going to be coming up into the Huntington area. And 8 o'clock, we're going to start getting wet. Now you can see that cold front is really starting to move through there into Nebraska. That's what's pushing this together and giving us that big push of moisture there. I'm not going to base this 100% off of, oh, this is what's going to happen, but this is a good chance. This is what we're going to see as we get into the midnight hour here, going into Sunday morning. You can see that low pressure building up. It's going to pop up a couple times down here in southern Illinois. And then that's when the cold front's going to really push. And you can see that big change right there That's where that cold front's going to be, and it's going to push through. There's that low pressure right down there around Indianapolis. You can see down there, and we're still 5 a.m., still sucking some rain. And that's as far as it's going to let us go right now. So that's 5 a.m. on Sunday morning. We got that low pressure down around Indianapolis, and it's still going to be raining. So need the rain. So keep that in mind as we're going throughout our day. Like I said, I'm not seeing the severe weather risk inside of the weather models as we're sitting currently. That could change, guys. So this model, and we can talk about it then if I see a big change. Most of our severe weather is going to be probably I-70 and south. So as we keep that in mind as we get into our night here, but it's starting to lag a little bit. I apologize, but we can go to our lightning flash density, which really can show you what kind of storms we're going to have. So lightning isn't something that comes from a light storm. So it has to have a certain level of intensity for that to be able to pop in and give us a show, if that makes sense. Lightning is like my ex. It's only around when it's unstable. All right, so I got a quick question while this is loading here. Do you see these counties over here in Ohio? Did they just not know how to draw a straight line, or what happened there? Like everything's kind of just crooked. Anywho, all right, so we don't see a whole lot of. Come on. So that's Sunday morning. Looks like about 2 a.m. You can see we're definitely going to have some lightning around the area. Definitely more dense along that cold front as it's coming through. You can see down in southern Indiana, definitely some more lightning. See if I can get it back to that 7. There we go. So we can see those big streaks are going to be that lightning risk that you see there. It's not showing a whole lot for our area, which is awesome. You can see up there on the Michigan border. That's a lot of lightning. So it stays pretty clear in our area for the most as far as lightning goes. This could change. This is just an example of time in motion. But I do think that with the instability that we're going to get from this daytime heating, I think that's going to create a little bit of a problem. So we'll go back to the Storm Prediction Center here, see if that'll carry over with us. It will allow me to continue sharing, so that is awesome. And we're going to go down and we're going to talk about the discussion. So it says, there's a slight risk of severe thunderstorms through tonight from Arkansas, Louisiana, Texas to the lower Ohio and Mississippi valleys. Lower, okay? Damaging wind, a few tornadoes, and hail may occur. The synopsis is, southern stream shortwave trough will eject quickly northeastward from Texas, Oklahoma to Arkansas, Missouri, prior to phasing with an amplifying northern stream trough by tonight across the mid-Mississippi Valley. Downstream from the phasing troughs, a deepening surface cyclone will develop northeastward tonight from the mid-Mississippi Valley to lower Michigan, as a trailing cold front surges southeastward from the plains into the lower Mississippi Valley. So then it talks about Texas and Oklahoma. And it talks about buoyancy. Buoyancy will increase in some moisture in the moisture plume through the afternoon with surface heating and cloud breaks, and deep layer vertical shear will increase with the approach of the ejecting mid-level trough. Thus, the stronger embedded cells will have the potential to produce large hail 1 to 1 3/4 inch in diameter, along with an increase in threat for wind damage as convection becomes more linear. The tornado threat is a bit more uncertain given the early messy start to convection this morning, since low-level shear will not be strong this afternoon in the warm sector as a result of primary cyclogenesis not occurring until tonight from Illinois into lower Michigan, north of the rich low-level moisture. Still, a couple of tornadoes may occur with embedded circulations. There will be a potential for more discrete supercells and a few tornadoes ahead of large-scale line of storms from Far East Texas into Louisiana, southern Arkansas, and Mississippi overnight, where boundary layer down points exceed 70 degrees Fahrenheit and low-level shear increases. The buoyancy will weaken rapidly, strengthening wind field overnight and forcing for ascent along a synoptic cold front could support a low top line of convection with the potential for wind damage and possible couple of embedded tornadoes from the Ohio Valley into southeast lower Michigan. So that does kind of come into the fact for us. So that's why we're doing a trash can warning tonight. We're definitely going to see some embedded wind as we get into this. And that's basically our current discussion today. So if you have any questions, please feel free. Let us know in the comments what kind of questions you have. We did have some questions on what Halloween's going to look like. As that is still a little too far out, we can kind of look and see what it is. Right now, while we're here, I'm not going to get into absolutely forecasting it right now, but I can tell you that there are two things at play for the Halloween forecast. Right now, it does look absolutely good. I shouldn't say absolutely. Let's see. I think it's somewhere around here. Let's go forward a little bit. And we'll talk about what Halloween might look like. There's going to be a couple options there. But I can tell you Thursday night is going to be a cold one, folks. So be ready for that. Might have to turn your furnace on. If you haven't yet, furnaces are coming. Tell the gas company to get ready. I don't know if it's loaded far enough yet. Let's find out. So you can see all this moisture while it's loading out here in the west. You don't typically see that level right there without a strong low pressure system. But of course, I'm not looking out over here. But it's very possible that there's an atmospheric river coming through with the jet stream as it comes through and over out that way. I haven't studied out this far enough yet to say this is absolute what's going to happen. But if there is a jet stream trough that's going to come through, I don't foresee it dropping just that far. This could actually absolutely come down to northern Arizona, northern Mexico. We'll see what that looks like as we get further here. So this weather model program that I use, we can see it actually does drop down to northern Arizona, northern Mexico with a low pressure here in Colorado. So we'll see what that turns into. That is on the 26th, so that's just far enough to give us some concern for what Halloween could look like. So this page, unfortunately, is constantly loading. So that's why it kind of, when I'm streaming and everything, it kind of drags down. So bear with me here. So this is the 29th. So a couple days before Halloween here. Like I said, it's not loaded far enough for us to go further into that. However, so we can see nice low pressure here, two high pressure systems, one out here in the Pacific Ocean, one here in Colorado, and a low pressure up here. So the jet stream's currently just cruising right through here. However, if we get this low pressure to drop here, that's going to give us our Halloween rain, possibly some snow showers for Halloween. And I know I don't want to talk, so sorry everybody, but that is part of the discussion currently that I'm looking at as a possibility, that guy coming down this way. Let's hope that doesn't happen. Let's hope we have a nice dry Halloween. That's what it looks like right now, potentially staying into the 60s. We'll get out of that. We'll stop sharing that. And we'll talk a little bit more about the weather today. Like I said, if I'm talking too fast, talking too much, let me know. I'm going to give you some time to ask some questions. Let me get my internet settled back out here. Okay, there we go. So hot dogs are questionable tonight, Melinda says. Oh, that's the problem. My radar decided it wanted to work. Well, we're going to get rid of it. We're not going to use it. All right, here we are. So 12:43, Saturday, October 18th. This is a trash can warning for this evening. Keep that in mind. there is a chance for some of this weather to come through and affect us tonight. I'm not too hyped up, but if we do happen to get something this evening, I will definitely be out there watching and chasing if we get something in our area. So stay tuned. That's what I can tell you right now. So if you do have plans going out to the Haunted Trail today, have a way to stay dry, have a way to get weather warnings, and stay tuned here on Wicked Weather. If it is just going to be rain, we'll be on here live in the studio talking to you about some of the things that are going around in the state as far as weather goes. This is a weather event that I'm very interested in seeing how it's going to turn out with the daytime heating that we're getting. We're actually looking at a high today around 82 degrees, which is kind of crazy thinking that it's going to be absolutely frigid by Thursday. So highs around mid-50s Thursday, but lows Thursday night, I'm going to say we're going to hit 30 degrees. So say goodbye to the mosquitoes and the bugs. I'm not going to complain one bit. Hopefully this rain that we're going to get is going to be abundant enough to get us that real good fall foliage color. That's what I'm hopeful for. We're going to be here watching, and that is your daily brief. So if you have any other questions, let us know in the comments, and I will be watching them. Thanks for watching. Have a great day, guys.